do. I keep thinking about you and I can't get you out of my out of my I keep thinking.
What's up? Victor here, back with another video. I recently started college. There's something that happened during my first semester that I feel so compelled to share with you guys, and I feel like you guys would enjoy it so much because really it was an experience for me. I guess without further ado, let's just get right into it. This all happened a week into school, actually. The college that I go to has something called new student orientation, which all the new freshman students are required to go to, and basically it's just a whole potpourri, a whole mixture of like really what's the school about, the history, the foundations, the alumni, and everything like that. And then at the end of the week we have a little party. All three schools kind of congregate to my school and we have like a little party in one of the auditoriums. I went there, you know, I wanted to get to know some new people. It's kind of weird, you know, just kind of going up to a guy and just be like, hey, what's up, bro? So I obviously kind of gravitated towards girls, but like a bunch of girls there swerved me because I guess all of them thought I had like ill intentions, when in reality I was just trying to be friends with them. I met this one girl, I'm not gonna say her name. She swerved me and I didn't think much of it because I was like, alright, all these girls just thinking like they like A1. I end up seeing her again like maybe a week down the road, and she's off to go get lunch. In my back of my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, that girl's really pretty. Let me go talk to her. I mean, I'm really respectful. I'm like, hey, how are you? I think you're really pretty. Can I have your number? Blah, 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 blah. You know, the whole spiel. And her friend is like, oh my God, he seems like a nice guy. You guys should still exchange numbers. And I was like, bet, coming through on clutch. I get her number and I text her later on that night and I was like, hey, it's great meeting you. Would you mind? Would you want to hang out tomorrow? And she was like, sure, let's go to the library. So we go to the library and she's like extremely bougie. That's one thing I noticed about her. Just kind of like unsettling how bougie was, but I was like, maybe she's just kind of playing hard to get, or maybe she's just trying to like give me the test. This is one thing that was new to me because I never heard of it. Apparently, like, guys are supposed to walk outside of the sidewalk and she's supposed to walk inside of the sidewalk. We were walking on the way to the library and she was like, there's something wrong. And I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, just look. And I was like, what's wrong? I don't see anything wrong. She was like, the guy's supposed to walk outside of the sidewalk and the girl's supposed to walk inside. And I was like, really? What? We get to the library and she's like, hey, I want to play this game. And I'm like, okay, what game do you want to play? And she was like, I'm gonna pick a book, you're gonna pick a book, and we're gonna guess each other's books, right? So she runs around the library and I run around the library. I guess her book, right? So I was like, oh, I guess I win a hug. She didn't guess my book. I really didn't put any stipulations on her getting mine wrong. I walk her back home and I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie. I told her and I was like, oh yeah, I stay off campus. And she was like, oh my gosh, I want to come over. So I was like, okay, you can come over. You know, she comes over, I show her around the apartment. You know, I tell her I have roommates and just all the extra stuff, and then we're sitting down on the couch and she's just like, are you a virgin? And then I told her blah 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 blah, and then I asked her and then she was like, yeah, I am. So I was like, have you dated anybody? She was like, yeah, I dated a person for 2 years. After I was like, you guys didn't do anything in the span of those 2 years? And then she was just like, yeah, we didn't. And I was like, I wasn't gonna argue with her, so I kind of believed her. And then we were just talking on the couch, and then, you know, out of nowhere, she just kind of starts play fighting, and then, you know, one thing leads to another, and then, unbeknownst to me, she just starts giving me hella dome in my apartment, and I'm just like, what the hell just happened? We just went from talking on the couch to play fighting, and now she's giving me top. I just kind of stopped her after I was like, alright, yeah, I think we're kind of rushing this whole thing because I've only known you for like 3 days and you're topping me off in my apartment. It was just like, yeah, I think you're right. I think we should slow down. So I was like, alright, whatever. So she tells me, she's like, hey, Victor, I want to sleep over. My naivety, I don't know if that's a word, but my naivety really got to me, and I literally thought she was just trying to sleep over, like just a normal sleepover. I show her my room. I'm like, this is my side of the bed, this is your side of the bed. And I'm like, I listen to music, here's the bathroom, you know, you can get whatever you want out of the fridge, it's all yours, I don't care. She just kind of like starts like taking off her shirt, and I was just like, whoa, what's happening? She just starts doming me off of my bed, and I'm just like, yo, what is happening? These things happen so fast. Like, I don't even know what to expect out of these, because these things aren't even pre-discussed. These things aren't even, like, it just happened. And I'm just like, am I giving consent to this? She's just like, Victor, go grab a condom. After I was like, alright, whatever, bet. Before I'm about to put it like in, she just yells out, Victor, I'm not a virgin. In the back of my mind, I'm just thinking, like, should I stop this now and we can argue about it, or I can stop it after and then we can argue about it. You see? Obviously, I talked to her after and I was like, why did you lie to me? And then she was just like, oh, well, I didn't want you to think I'm some type of girl you can just do anything you want with. I bet it's been 3 days and, you know, we've really done everything. I was like, but I was honest from you from the get-go, so why lie to me? Like, that kind of just breaks the whole trust. But whatever, you know, who am I to judge? I don't judge people, and I took her word for what it is, right? So as time goes on, we just end up having a field day with that. One day, she was in my room, and we were both like sleeping on my bed, and she was like, what type of wedding dress would you buy me? Pause. Well, ooh, violation, pause, right? What do you mean? What type of wedding dress am I gonna buy you? But I only knew her for like maybe 4 or 5 days to this point, and she's like talking about marriage. And at this point, I was like, this girl's crazy as hell. I don't like being a bearer of bad news, but at that point, like, my feelings for her started really declining. Like, it plummeted. It really did plummet. Later on that night, she said that she was going out with some friends and she's at Cheesecake Factory. I was just kind of being all cheeky and stuff. I was like, get me something. You know, like how everybody texts somebody like, oh, get me some or save me some. She shoots me a text and she's like, where are you, Victor? I got you some Cheesecake Factory. And I was like, you actually got me some Cheesecake Factory? Because Cheesecake Factory isn't really cheap for college standards. Like, it's like 20 bucks per plate. And for a college student, $20 can last the whole week. So for somebody to drop $20 on you is like, might as well just buy you a Ferrari. She was like, oh, I got you something from Amazon. I was like, what did you get me? Because I didn't ask for anything. And I'm like, she's already buying me Cheesecake Factory. She's already ordering me things, and I've only known her for a week. So at this point, I obviously see that she likes me a lot, and I'm just like, she's like up here, and I'm like here compared to like liking each other. I asked my friends and my, you know, sister, like, what should I do? You know, I told them the whole story up to this point. Well, my sister gives me some advice and she's like, well, if you don't like her, just tell her straight up that, you know, you just want to be friends. Some of my homeboys like, oh bro, you should just finesse her. Like, she's buying you things, bro. Like, this is your chance. You're in the zone. You can do anything. Like anything that you want, she can get for you. I don't want to use somebody for just what they have, because like if I accept these gifts and I keep asking her for things, she's gonna think that I like her, and it's gonna be worse, because at the end of the day, I really don't like her. A day or so passes by and she's like, oh, I have a surprise for you. I'm like, oh, what do you have? I'm assuming it's the Amazon package. So I meet up with her and she gives me this box and it says Amazon on the side, and she bought me like these really nice quality, like his and hers type blanket thingies. I don't even know what they're called, but like, and then she wrote me some love letter and she gave it to me. They were just gifts. Like, they didn't have any meaning to me because she didn't have really any meaning to me at this point. But I just kind of sit her down and I'm like, hey, you know, you and I aren't really gonna work out. You know, I would really like to be friends though, because you're a really sweet girl. And then kind of start telling her that whole feel of, it's not you, it's me. She said, oh, okay, I'm alright with being friends, and I'm on Tinder. And she's like, why are you on Tinder? After I was like, oh, you know, you should make one, meet single people around your area. She was like, I know what Tinder is, but why are you using it? I'm like, bro, we're friends. Didn't we just have this discussion about being friends? She said, well, you know how that makes me feel. And I'm like, I don't really care how you feel. We're friends. Like, I'm single. To my point of view, I was honest from the get-go. You know, I started from the get-go, and I was very honest, and I told you, listen, we're friends, we should be friends, and you agreed with it. So that means I'm single to go do what I want, when I want, whenever I want. Starts kind of like making a scene, and she storms right out. I obviously knew that she wanted me to go get her and apologize and be like, oh, this and that and this. I really didn't care, so I walked home and I left her there. She calls me and she's like, why did you leave? And I'm like, bro, I got other things to do with my life. I really don't have time to deal with this petty stuff. I met up with this other girl at my party. I'll refer to the girl that I met at my party as girl B, and then the other girl as just like girl A. The girl that I met at my party, girl B, there was this Tupac event that was going on, and I took her to the Tupac event. Girl A, she shoots me a text while I'm at the Tupac party, and she's like, where are you? After I was like, oh, I'm out with, you know, girl B. And then she was like, why are you out with another girl? After I was like, cause I'm single and I can do whatever I want. And she was like, what are you guys? I'm like, it's none of your business what we are. I tell her about girl A, and then girl B is like, yo, I want to meet this girl. So I'm like, no, you really don't want to meet her, because like all my friends are saying she's kind of crazy. And then I really didn't believe she was crazy until this confirmed my suspicions. After the event was over, I started walking girl B back to her dorm. I get a phone call from girl A, the crazy chick. This is like 11 p.m. at night. I remember I really didn't tell her where I was, and she calls me and she's like, oh, I love the scarf that, you know, that girl's wearing that you're next to. And I'm like, what do you mean you like the scarf? And then I turn around. Remember, this is the key point. I turn around and like I don't see her anywhere, but like I don't know like how she knows what we're wearing. And she was like, oh yeah, Victor, like I love the blue shirt that you're wearing. And I was like, how how do you know where I am? So I turn around and I don't see anybody, and then I'm like, yo, you're crazy. And then I hung up the phone, and then I turn around again, and she's like right behind me, and she's like, hello, Victor. I'm like, bro, what the hell? Girl B and girl A meet, and they introduce themselves, and then they have like a stare down for like 5 seconds, and then girl B, the girl that I took to the Tupac event, she's like, hey, Victor, I'm gonna go home. So I was like, wasn't I supposed to walk you back to your dorm? And then she was like, no, I have it from here. I will walk home by myself. And I kind of started getting freaked out because I'm like, why is this girl just leaving me here with her? I'm like, is she gonna kill me? Like, are girls staring down for 5 seconds without saying anything to each other? Like some type of territorial type thing? Crazy chick. She's just like, oh, why were you with her? Why were you doing this and that with her? What are you guys just like kind of interrogating me? After I was like, bro, it's none of your business. Like, we're friends. At this point, I'm like, listen, obviously you and I aren't gonna work out because, you know, we're not compatible. It's obvious we're not compatible because I told you that we should be friends and you're obviously not getting this. She's like, why do you hate me? Why do you do? I'm like, bro, I don't hate you. I just don't want to be with you. And she was like, well, I'm used to dumping people. I've never been dumped before. And I was like, well, there's a first for everything. I'm walking back to my apartment. She just kind of comes out of nowhere and kind of like intercepts me, and she's like, Victor, don't do this to me, don't leave me, please don't leave me. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? I've only known you for like a week and a half, 2 weeks max. I'm on her campus because we don't really go to the same schools, but her school is like really a fence away from my school. I'm not a petty person. Like, if I see somebody, like, even though we might not be on the best terms, and I don't know why we weren't on the best terms because I was so honest and upfront with her throughout the whole thing. I saw her walking down, and then I guess she saw me, and then she, on my life, starts sprinting to her dorm. I literally die laughing because I'm like, why is this girl sprinting on her own campus? Because she looked back and then she just starts like running down like Trump was about to like enslave like black people, bro. Like, it was wild. She was knocking people down, and I was like, I got scared too because I'm like nobody else is running, so I'm like, is there like a gunman on campus? And this was like maybe a month after the whole thing transpired. So I decided to be a bigger person, and then I shoot her a text. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna call you in 5 minutes. And she's like, why are you gonna call me? After I was like, stop being a child, I'm gonna call you in 5 minutes. Like, hey, why do you dislike me so much? And she was like, oh my god, I don't got time for this, my phone's about to die, blah 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 blah. And then she like hangs up on my face, and then after I'm like, why are you so childish about this? I'm literally just trying to like settle what's wrong, and you're being a child about this. Be a mature person about this and let's settle what's wrong. And then she starts going off on me, and then she calls me back and she's like, oh, I think I'm more like a Michelle Obama type person. Remember, she's like hella bougie, and then you're more of an artsy type person, and we didn't meet in the right time. And after I'm like, first of all, do you think Michelle Obama was on her campus, running around campus, talking smack about boys, giving dome in people's apartments within 3 days? Do you really think that's what she was doing in college? Don't compare yourself to her. I just kind of hung up in her face because she wouldn't let me talk, and I'm like, this is a conversation. Like, if you're not gonna let me talk, it's a waste of my time. She like ends up blocking me, and then she starts talking trash and stuff around campus. Like, I figure out that she's talking trash about me on campus. Do you really think this is what Michelle Obama is doing? Really? Talking trash about boys on campus, really? So that's really the last time I really heard from her. My closest friends who are in college know exactly who I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna say her name because I don't want to like, you know, like end her life on like the internet. Try to, you know, rekindle a friendship, but clearly, you know, she's too Michelle Obama for me. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Definitely subscribe, share. If you want more videos like this, definitely comment down and share with your friends. And yeah, see you guys around. Take care.